Aloha, this is Wahkeena Sitka, and I am going to begin sharing with you a whole new chapter, a whole new part of myself that up to this point has been completely, previously unexposed for the most part. I'm really excited because what I'm going to begin sharing on YouTube and maybe even in some writing, but probably mostly on the YouTube videos, is going to be a series of videos about my visionary experiences. Before I even begin, I just want to say that I'm not going to advocate drug use whatsoever. I'm not even going to advocate entheogenic plant medicine use. All I'm going to do is simply share my personal experiences. All of the stories that I'm going to share are my firsthand, completely subjective experiences. I'm going to do the best job that I possibly can to share my intimate, vulnerable experiences in such a way that it's translatable. Part of the reason why up to this point I haven't shared my experiences is because it is so hard, so difficult to share visionary experiences, especially the more other dimensional, out of body experiences, because we don't really have language that can truly express and explain and describe experiences that are truly out of this world. And it's really hard to find a way to integrate those experiences, and it's difficult to try to find a way to express those experiences because they truly are the unspeakable. They truly are the infinite. And the infinite has no names. The infinite has no box that it exists in. As the Tao Te Ching says, the Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. The Tao is unnameable. It's infinite. And it's extremely impossible to truly grasp and describe these experiences. And so they're very subjective. In my personal opinion, for a really long time, I kept these experiences silent, or I shared them only with intimate friends, because they're so sacred and so personal that they're really about your relationship with God. You know, it's really, the stories and experiences are between you and God. They're between you and your soul. And maybe if another friend or other people are there, it's between you and the intimate people that are in that surrounding of that ceremony or that medicine space. But they're very intimate, very sacred, very vulnerable, very personal, very subjective experiences, and it's really hard to truly grasp and truly describe those experiences. And so I've treated them with the utmost care and respect up to this point, because I've wanted to regard them with the highest level of sacredness between myself and, Great Spirit. And so I've tried in a way to express them in various essays that I have written that have been online. But even still, in the written word, if you just write down a story, it lacks the true depth of expression that you can receive when I'm speaking to you directly with my own voice. So I'm approaching this because I feel truly the depth of sharing the oral tradition. And I look at YouTube, I look at online social media as the oral tradition version 2.0. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to share my wisdom. I'm here to share my insights. I'm here to share my stories in a public platform, so that some of these deep realizations, these profound experiences, these enlightening experiences can be received by people who, like yourself, might not be able to experience them. First of all, before I even get any further in the story, I just want to say I have done almost, I don't want to say every psychedelic, I've done many psychedelics. I've done acid, mushrooms, ecstasy, MDMA, 2CI, peyote, San Pedro, ayahuasca. There's more obviously, so I haven't done every, but I've done quite a few. And I have largely been completely off medicines and psychedelics for the last 4+ years. I chose after my last ayahuasca ceremony in August of 2007 to basically just take a step back and really try to start integrating that experience and all of the preceding experiences that I had experienced, because the psychedelic realm is intense. It's deep. It's mystical, it's otherworldly, it's profound, it's life-changing, it's transformative, it's healing, and it's also, it can make you kind of ungrounded. It can put you out of your body in a literal way and also in a daily lifestyle sort of way. It's taken me really a long time to really take all of that energy that I received from my visionary experiences and really bring that wisdom and that energy into my body. I've really been like working on rooting into my body. Thus, I have chosen to essentially be sober and I have not been using drugs really, or psychedelics or medicines for the last 4+ years. However, despite the fact that I have been basically off all substances, with the exception of I smoke in the evening. I have like a nightly smoking routine. But with the absence of psychedelic use in my life, it still plays a huge part in who I am. Those experiences are like the spiritual foundation and bedrock of the intention that I live my life with. If you look around my room here, this is my altar right over here. This painting I've owned for about 5 years, and it's painted by David Heskin and Aloria Weaver. There's a painting back there by Jared Knapp. That piece of art right there is by Nikki Moon. This is my room. My room is essentially a visionary art shrine filled with visionary art of transcendental realms. My room is a temple. I treat my room like a temple. My altar is a very important part of my daily life and my daily routine. I pray and meditate and do offerings and rituals and qigong in front of my altar every single day. My life is very much informed by the visionary realm and by the mystical realm, and the psychedelics that I worked with opened me up to transcendental and transformational realms where I became deeply aware and enlivened by the divine energy. Essentially, in my life, I have become committed to the divine. And it became consistently and repetitively programmed out into my life by these psychedelic and visionary and entheogenic experiences. You know, before I got into psychedelics, I had a pretty strong interest in mysticism and the Tao Te Ching and Sufism, and I grew up Christian. I grew up in rural Ohio, surrounded by like sexually repressed Christian people, and I was basically the epitome of sober and straight-laced conservative, you know, all throughout my whole teenage years up until I went to college. I never even saw alcohol until I was like 18. I literally grew up in a family where there was no drug use and no alcohol or anything. Very, 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 very sober people. And so I got into mind-altering substances in my 20s, for the most part. And even just, you know, the use of like casual substances like tobacco or marijuana or alcohol were huge and transformational in my life, especially marijuana, because that is such a profound consciousness shifting medicine. But really, my experiences with psychedelics obviously take you to a whole different level, a whole different realm. And for me, there was a before psychedelics part of my life, and then there was an after psychedelics part of my life. And the after psychedelics part of my life has been the part of my life where I've finally fully understood who I am. I've really been able to cultivate my inner wisdom, my inner self-knowledge. It's really been the time of my life when I've really been truly able to come into alignment with my divinity and the source of my soul's purpose in life. You know, I think everybody wants to really know who they are and know how to live in joy and activate and really be truly authentically an embodiment of who they really are. And obviously there's many routes to that. For me, psychedelics and shamanism and all these metaphysical and mystical techniques and tools were the gateway into deeper self-knowledge and into awakening. And for all of those reasons, I am infinitely grateful for all visionary substances, whether they are, you know, plant medicine teachers such as ayahuasca or mushrooms, or whether they're, you know, man-made in a laboratory like acid. They all have profound validity. They've all changed my life. They've all been profound teachers. And I'm also grateful for those experiences, and I'm grateful that I live in a lifestyle now where I work on myself via qigong and breath work and via creativity. So I've really been seeking for the last, 4 or 5 years, how do I take that deeper intention that was brought into my full awareness via, say, DMT, and how do I take those realizations, those mystical life transformational experiences, and create bridges for those to be embodied in the day-to-day world? For example, part of the way that I do that is via my holistic therapeutic healing massage practice. Part of that is via music and sound and, my vocal alchemy sound healing workshops. Part of that is through my web design. All of these things are embodiments of creative energy. And I am extremely inspired by the total yesness to the activation of creative energy and creative potential. I believe every single one of us is a divine embodiment of the holy. We are all put here on this planet for a reason. We are all sent here on a mission. I know that I am. And that deep knowing was validated over and over and over and over and over again via my entheogenic experiences. And I would say the capstone on all of them was ayahuasca. But before I ever delved into ayahuasca, I, played with mushrooms and acid and ecstasy, and I did everything pretty much. And I really became slowly, and then not so slowly, really comfortable and really used to the psychedelic and visionary realm. By the time I had finally kind of graduated to ayahuasca, I'd already done a lot of work. But for me, the ayahuasca is the penultimate of all of the experiences. It's literally like God opening into the room and pulling off the veil of time, space, dimension, and giving you the full download of what really is reality. Reality is truly perception. And so basically, I really want to share with you my stories. This is just the introduction and prelude to a whole series of videos that I'm going to begin sharing with you. So I just really wanted to just kind of launch it by saying hello. But you know, I have all of these amazing stories to share. Each one of the experiences are unique and created really specific stories and realizations that have transformed my life in very profound ways. Everything from learning about Earth shift and what's coming for 2012 to having full-blown Kundalini awakenings to shamanic death experiences to basically going into galactic consciousness, going into galactic, sexual orgies with tantric deities in outer space, to learning how to circulate my chi. I've experienced quite a lot of really interesting and unique things via psychedelics, and they truly are and all have been the peak experiences of my life, the most important experiences of my life. In fact, I would be inclined to say psychedelics saved my life, completely liberated me. Then it was up to me, how do I take that big energy and transform my life so that I am living in alignment with the realization that comes through those experiences. And for me, the ultimate realization is essentially say yes to life, be fully here, be fully now, and attune to divine energy. The divine is the source of all life, and all life is an embodiment and manifestation of divine energy and divine wisdom. So that really became for me the ultimate driving force of my life for the last 6, 8 years. And I really hope that you enjoy these stories. I hope that they resonate with you, and I hope that they spark a seed of yes in you. I'm not going to advocate using any of these drugs. I totally believe that you can have life transformational experiences via rock climbing or via yoga and qigong and tai chi and qigong, or via traveling around the world for 2 or 3 years, going backpacking. There's so many ways of tapping into divine intelligence. For me, this was my way, and it's a huge part of who I am. And it also helped me gain the insight and the self-knowledge that I am a cosmic citizen. I am a galactivated dakini of source energy. I'm a starseed. And that was a huge realization, to be able to own that, because for my entire life, up till psychedelics entered my life, I really didn't fully understand why I was different. I just knew that I was different and that I was a freak. It has taken a long time for me to really own myself and love myself for who I truly am. And growing up as different, as a starseed, as a freak in Ohio, it just I was not able to even say yes to life. I was terrified. Basically, I grew up traumatized and lonely and scared, and I didn't understand why I was here. Psychedelics basically gave me the opportunity to finally have the veil lifted and to be able to say, okay, there is a purpose. I have a mission. I am here on planet Earth. Thank you. The divine is totally aligning with me and giving me the ability to move forward with direction, purpose, and a mission that I can say yes to. And part of that yes is making these videos and doing all of my creative work. So I hope that you enjoy, and I hope that you are inspired. And please sign up on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and make sure to start paying attention to all of the stories, because this is just the prelude. Next is all of the psychedelic and visionary stories coming straight to you.